What's going on, amazing people of YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok? Welcome to tonight's episode. I have changed my branding back to Tech Talk with TJ, but actually, for some of these videos, I'll be labeling them as Beyond Tech because sometimes there's just things I have to say to get off my chest and share my thoughts that are not tech related, and this is one of those videos. So let's get right into it. This week was just a terrible week, another terrible week in American history. And I truly believe that in 30, 50, 60, 70, 80 years from now, when the ladies just being born right now are grown adults and they have children, they will be discussing with their children the horrific times, and those kids will be learning in history books about these times at these moments right now. And I do believe, and this might be too strong of a statement, and I really believe this, that this time in history could be almost as dark as some of the darkest times 100 years ago or whatnot that we faced in our country previously. And the question that I think all of us have to ask is, can America be healed? Can this ugly, nasty divide or rip in the fabric of America be sewn back together? I'm afraid to say we're getting to a place of no return. I don't know that we're there yet. I think we can still recover if we're lucky. If we're lucky. But we are getting to a point of no return. And I won't sit here and pretend anything that I'm not. I'm just a goofy looking guy with a medical condition that sometimes has some thoughts that are coherent. That's all. That's all I am. But I can tell you this right now. I believe this so strongly that we as a nation will not heal until our leaders, Democratic, Republican, independent, whatever the political association is, come together, start a nationwide dialogue, a campaign, if you will, of bringing people with the most diverse, total opposite opinions together and starting an American First campaign, meaning American not America first, I gotta be careful how I say that, but bringing people together who are so far left or so far right and creating a dialogue that can remind people at their core, right, to even overcome their cultural upbringing, their societal upbringing, their family upbringings, all the things that determine a person's political psychology, their demographics, their life experiences. And the hardest thing that can be so difficult for the human mind to do is to be willing to admit when some of our beliefs might be skewed, biased, or just plain wrong. And that is something that I think will be the toughest to overcome in this country. So I think there needs to be a starting point. They're like, and again, this is still going to be controversial because I get it. Nobody agrees on anything these days. But I think there should be a starting line, like a threshold where we say, okay, human rights should be universally across this nation regarded as protected, right? And I mean, I'm talking gay rights, LGBTQ, transgender. You know, we can have discussions about how the government pays for certain things and what is covered under certain aspects of the government and all that. But we should agree that religion and one's religious beliefs should be just that, their religious beliefs. And that America is a a mixing pot, a melting pot, if you will, of different religious and cultural beliefs. So not one's religious beliefs are going to be the law of the land. And I think once we get there, that's one aspect of it. And the other thing is, we have to start diagnosing and trying to understand, kind of like one of these psychologists, is how I put it. We need to start understanding, why does my neighbor or my best friend or my wacky uncle or whoever, why do they believe what they believe? And should I just go, you're a scumbag, you're stupid, you're this, you're that? Or should I go, and I say I as a general term, but should we instead say, okay, I don't understand exactly where you're coming from in every aspect, but I respect that your experiences lead you to that. That's that is a more productive start to healing the divide in this country. But there's another side to this, though, and this is where it becomes difficult. Because I notice, and I'm not going to say one political ideology is more so than the other, because I see it on both sides. Whether you're liberal or conservative, a Trump supporter or a Trump hater, on both sides, there's antagonistic individuals who want to fan the flames. But on both sides, it has to tone down. If you're a Trump supporter, great. That is your American right to be. But maybe you start to think, why does this person that I used to love and be close with, why are they saying that Trump is against, why does Trump violate everything that I stand for? On the flip side, maybe you love somebody who's a Trump supporter, and you want to understand why they believe that Donald Trump and his supporters and this administration is the best thing for America. Because both sides can be right or wrong at the same time. You know, for me personally, I look at everything subjectively, and I guess objectively would be the proper term for that. And I look at things like illegal immigration. You know, I think the Democratic side, the liberal progressives, they possibly made some bad strategic decisions with that entire situation with illegal immigration. And I think for the safety of American citizens and the influx of drugs coming into our country, that had to be addressed. And I think that should be an opinion shared by all political ideologies. You can have debates over how it's done, but something had to be done. In this case, it just happened to be that Donald Trump and his administration took a strong stance on it, right? But and maybe it's not a universal concept, though, in this country, that everything that one political side does is great. Because I don't think it is. That's not how we should be. And one thing I'll also say for myself is that I strongly believe that any political figure should be regularly scrutinized. I'm talking all of them. Go back to any living president: Clinton, O'Donnell, Bush, of course Trump, and Biden, of course. All of them were major political figures, rulers of the free world, if you will. And so they all deserve to be scrutinized when they need to be scrutinized. What doesn't help is conspiracy theories, false information, things of that nature, right? And so it becomes this thing where I don't want to ever make the point that you shouldn't have strong beliefs. That's not what I'm saying. I would never say that. I don't think we should all just be like this, zombies, just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. You should have strongly held beliefs with the knowledge and the mental wherewithal to think critically and logically at all times, and consider that maybe some of my beliefs are skewed, they're biased, including myself. I'm not preaching to you guys, I'm talking about myself at the same time. So that's all. I think once all of us take a step back as Americans and realize that we're all on the same team. I have posted this on Facebook countless times, and I don't think enough people grasp it though. We're all the same teams. It's not, oh, Republicans are scumbags, or oh, Democratic liberals are scumbags, dirtbags, we hate them. No, it should be all of us together working in unison to sit down at the proverbial table and hashing out our differences in a healthy, reasonable way, understanding that we are not all going to get what we want legislatively, meaning at the law-making level, Congress, right? And even higher than that, at the executive level, the president that we vote for is not going to always be who wins. That's the beauty of a multiple party system, okay? And I know, I'm going to say this straight up, I know how much it bothers some of my friends in my hometown that people don't love Donald Trump. And instead of saying all those people are idiots or the stupid liberals, no, it's about not being so blindly loyal to any one politician. Because whether you hate me or love me for saying it, Donald Trump, like every other politician, is flawed in many aspects. But again, that's not limited to just Donald Trump. All politicians have the same flaws in some aspects, in other different ones in other aspects. But there's no such thing as a squeaky clean, perfect politician. Because at its core, politics is a dirty, grimy, dishonest business. And you can dismiss that and just be like, oh, that's just your opinion, TJ. But no, I don't have to make a 2-hour video explaining why. You got those that will understand that will know that politics is one of the grimiest things out there. And so there's no such thing as perfect, right? And so instead of believing that, I don't know, Donald Trump or Joe Biden or whoever, it's like, instead of looking at them at almost like a godlike level who are doing something so great for this country, I think it needs to be something where every politician, every leader is scrutinized and should be held to one standard. Whether you are high income, low income, homeless, doing so well that it's unbelievable, and you're a millionaire or billionaire, we should all believe in the common good of every American. It does not mean we have to become all Bernie Sanders and say socialism. No, we don't need that. We don't need socialism labels. We don't need to go socialism Bernie Sanders. No, but it should still be a common sense thread of human decency in this country that no American should be living on the streets homeless when, especially not vets and people like that who serve their country honorably, when there are billionaires that you know what they all possess. And it's like, that doesn't seem right. That seems to go against the fiber of human decency. That's all I'll say about this. I won't make this video too long. But I have to say that there needs to be a shared objective among all Americans of all political ideologies, all perspectives, that the common good of America, meaning exactly what happened this week, does not continue happening. Charlie Kirk should not have been assassinated just because he has views that many disagree with. And did he make some comments in the past about gun violence that were kind of making light of it? Yes, he did. But did he deserve to die for that? Absolutely not. Did his children and wife deserve to lose a father and a husband? No, they didn't. And so that's the main thing here is if the objective is to stop this political violence, it has to be better than just posting on Twitter or Facebook or TikTok loving prayers and thoughts. And this has to start happening. It has to go beyond thoughts and actual mental and physical action. Physical meaning maybe actually improving security in some places too, but it has to be a, a real from the heart up, a real ground, what's that word? I'm losing track of my words right now. I'm so passionate about this, but a real grassroots movement, I guess you could say, to bring back the heart of what makes America America. And we can't do that if we are so ugly divided that before somebody even finishes a thought, we're already attacking them, and it has to stop. I'll leave it here for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all are well. Please pray for America. We need it. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching. And if you agree with me, or even if you don't agree with me, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're on TikTok, please follow me if you like. Or if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Peace and love to all of you.